Welcome to CharlieKTV, where we take your greetings to your loved ones. Today we have with us the Mayor of Palestine, and we'll be having a conversation with him. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're with the Mayor of Palestine, and I'm going to have him introduce himself to us.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Presley. I'm the Mayor of Palestine, and I appreciate having the opportunity to talk to you today.
Thank you, Mayor, for having us today.
Thank you.
So we have a few questions for you. We wanted to know who Mayor Steve Presley is.
I'm a pharmacist by trade and training. My dad had several pharmacies here when I was a child, and so I went through college and pharmacy school, and then my wife and I came back here, and she was also from here. Okay. And as a result of that, we chose to live here because we thought this would be a great place to raise our children. So I've been doing that all my life, and a bunch of different aspects of pharmacy. But I believe that everyone has an obligation for public service as well, that you not only tithe of your money but of your time.
Yes.
And so I believe that we should serve to the public, and I've been on a bunch of city committees before, and school board. I've been the president of our local school board and years ago, and then I served on city council for about over 12 years before I became mayor, and I've been mayor now about 3 years.
Okay, very nice. So the role of mayor, what does that entail?
Really, in Palestine, the mayor, according to the charter of the city, the mayor is just the leader of the council. Okay. The mayor has one vote on council, just as anyone else does. All of our positions are volunteer. We do get paid a little bit. It almost covers our gas that you do driving around the community.
Right.
So it's very little. It's a volunteer position. But we all try to. So as mayor, one of the things that I believe my job is to do is to get us all together to agree to do things and have policies and procedures that are best for the city.
Yes.
Our body only sets policies and procedures. We are not supposed to get in the day-to-day business of the city. Okay. That is the city manager that does that.
Okay.
So she runs everything that goes on, everything below the budget. We have our ability to control things at budget time and by setting policy throughout the year. So.
Okay. I would like to ask you, what are some of the benefits of being the mayor?
To me, the biggest benefit is just knowing that I'm helping the community that I grew up in.
Yes.
My wife and I have traveled a lot, and I've seen a lot of other places outside of this country where they work hard and do all the right things, but they don't have near the blessings that we have here in the United States. And I truly appreciate that, and I think that again, it goes back to my idea that I grew up with, that you're obligated to provide service for other people when you're able to. And so it's just a matter at this point of me just satisfying myself that I'm doing the right thing by trying to help the community.
You're doing a wonderful job. Public service is always a great way to go about.
I think it is, and I think more people should be in it. I think you shouldn't rule out what you can do, because if you're willing to put the work and the effort into a project, you don't have to be the mayor to do it. You can do it from any position within the community.
That's right.
You gather all the facts together, bring it in. If it's a good idea and everything is all laid out, it's economical, and you can see there's a clear benefit to the community, far greater than the cost of doing something, then why shouldn't we do it?
Right.
So those are the things that I try to develop by reading a lot on things that other cities have done.
Thank you. So with its benefits, there got to be some challenges that come with it as well. So I wanted to ask you, are there any challenges that you face as the mayor?
Well, there are always challenges. There are community members that don't like certain things you do, no matter what. There are community members that challenge every action, and sometimes it's because we can't tell all of what's really going on.
Right.
We cannot tell the whole story sometimes behind the scenes, dealing with personnel matters or dealing with businesses that might be coming to town. And when people don't know things, that's when they become afraid. That creates fear, and they're afraid, and they always think the worst possible is going to happen. It's not, but that's always a challenge. And then the other challenge is getting the city manager and city staff and 7 different people on council, including me, all to think this, that all to decide that the same thing, this is what we want to do. All of us together decide that. So, but that's not just my job. That's our collective job to do that, is to see that we all come together with solutions that help our taxpayers and provide good services at a reasonable cost.
Thank you. So are you going to be running for another term?
No, I'm not. I really think it's someone else's turn to take over and be the mayor and put their ideas in. I've sat on council now for 15 years, over 15 years, and I think that's enough time. And there's still many things that I would like to see us do, but at this point, maybe we're better served by having someone else that has experience that can do that. So that's my intention at this point in time, is not to run again. But there's still almost a year left, and there's plenty of time to get some other things done that we want to have done. We've carried out some of my main goals that I wanted to do when we became mayor. When I became mayor, is that our finances were not in very good shape.
Okay.
We didn't have enough reserves in the city, and in 3 years we have built those up to where they need to be, and at the same time begun providing more service to the community with streets and water and sewer, replacing water meters, replacing water and sewer lines, building new streets. So we've been able to, and on the economic development side, attracted a lot of new businesses in. So we've gotten the ball rolling in the right direction, and that was really my goal. And so again, I think someone else it's time for someone else to step in and help keep us going in that direction with good, solid growth that allows us to, in the future, hopefully get our tax rates down
right.
while at the same time offering the services that we offer. And the only way you can do that is to have more sales tax revenue and more property tax revenue with new businesses coming to town.
So, Mayor, as we're all aware of the challenges that we're going through these days, pretty much the whole world is facing the same problem with the COVID-19.
Correct.
So I wanted to ask you how the City of Palestine is doing in regards to dealing with the issue of COVID-19.
We've taken a lot of steps to deal with it. In the beginning, we weren't sure how bad this was going to be, how widespread it was going to be, how contagious it was going to be. So we made some steps early on. We took some steps early on to close everything down until we could better assess what's happening. And they, about a month ago, the governor passed an order that cancels out all local orders from counties and cities, so that he's the only one that controls all the orders now. His latest order is called GA29. There's a whole series of orders starting at GA1 and going up through 29 now, in which GA29 reopens businesses. I think it was GA23 that opened them to 25%, and now they're open to 50%. Some of those were open last Friday, and I think some of them opened this Friday at 50%, or they're able to do 50%. So they're gradually reopening. The thing that we've tried to do most is encourage people when they're in a mixed group at a large store like at Lowe's or Walmart or the grocery store, to really concentrate on wearing masks. Because you're in close proximity to a bunch of people for off and on, and it would be really easy to either pass the virus if you have it and no symptoms, or to pick it up. And we don't know how effective masks are at keeping you from preventing it, but since the main method of transmission is either you get it on your hands and touch a mucous membrane, or you inhale the droplets, that a mask should help some. They don't know yet how much, but in any case, particularly for those most vulnerable, the elderly and those with immune system problems, they should be wearing masks. But the real problem is you get young people that have no symptoms at all, We recently had testing done at the prison system, and we had a bunch of young people that showed up that were guards, that correctional officers, that had no symptoms at all. And so, it's how do you control it if you don't even know you have it?
You have it, right.
And the only way to do that is for you to make the commitment to wear a mask to protect others. And so I think that's what, just dealing with it from the Christian side, one of the things we do is be sure we do no harm to someone else. And so even though it's an inconvenience, to me it seems like that all of us as Christians have an obligation to wear masks in public, not outside, but in public in close proximity to other people, where it's not a controlled environment, like this is a controlled environment. But when you're out there and you're passing a whole lot of people, that it's, even if you think you don't have it, it's possible you could.
Right.
And I think we have an obligation to wear masks all the time.
Yes, that's very well said. You talked about businesses open at a certain capacity. You said by Friday, this Friday.
Some are already open at 50%,
yes.
and others open this coming Friday.
Okay, so as far as in parks and areas where we know our children would love to go and play, what would be the best decision for us to follow right now?
All of our parks are open.
Okay.
We have closed down the playground equipment, though, because we have no way to get out there and sanitize that after use. And you can't go out and wipe down every surface if you want your children to play. And for the same reason, we have not opened up the spray pad down at Reagan Park. So we've asked children just not to play on that. You can go to the park and play with your family, and you should get out, you should be exercising, you should do things outdoors as much as you possibly can. You can go to places like the Dogwood Trails is a county park, but it's just the city surrounds it. We encourage people to get out and get exercise, walk in the neighborhood, do whatever you want to. And not only does that help you, but it helps with family bonds and making your family stronger when you get out and do things together.
Yes.
And not sit in front of the TV and play games all the time. Get out and do something together.
Okay, Mayor Presley, please, I wanted to ask you about if anyone in Palestine wanted to get tested for the COVID-19, where would be areas they can actually go and get a test done?
The best thing to do is call your doctor, your local physician, and ask them for information on how you get tested, and if they do it, and if they don't do it, do they have another doctor that they can refer you to that does do the testing. If they say no, then the Department of Health, Stephanie Walker is the health department nurse that's in charge of our area.
Okay.
And then you can get in touch with her. It's to see where tests can be done. Now, the county judge arranged a couple of times for the test to be done here, but you had to have symptoms to do that. Some of the doctor's offices don't require you to have symptoms. Just if you want the test, they'll run it for you.
Done. Okay.
So if you have questions on that, the best thing to do is call the county judge, call his office. The secretary there can find out or the administrative assistant there has the answers or can get those answers for you.
Okay. So I also wanted to ask you about the school district. Now, we know that children have been home since March, and we're, as parents, myself, we're anticipating to see what will happen come August, I believe 14th or 15th when they open back up. So I wanted to know if you have any kind of information or any kind of...
Well, I do. I've talked to the superintendents of both schools because it's a big concern that children are not learning.
Yeah.
When they're at home, not learning at the rate that they would be learning in school, and that the increased possibility of passing the virus around at the same time, and how you balance that. And I think at this point, basically, we're all looking at doing whatever the governor rules, because the governor's going to rule, and regardless of what we do locally, he's going to overrule it. So it will be following what the governor's orders are. From looking at the progression of that, he released a plan that was 60 or 70 pages called Reopening Texas.
Okay.
And you can get online. You can Google that and get that whole plan. And you can download the whole thing. You can go through it, and he talks about everything in there. So it appears to me that he's already opened schools at partial capacity for summer school.
Yes.
And that if we don't see increased infection rates, then I think the plan is to go ahead and open this fall.
Okay.
My guess is will open and just see what happens.
Okay.
But that's purely a guess. I do
Mm-hmm.
not know for sure. And if everything seems to go okay and we don't have a huge spike in cases, they will probably stay in school.
Okay. That's really good information for us to have. So let's make sure that we go to the websites and we'll put it in our link so that you're able to know exactly where to go to get the information that you would need.
The Texas Health Department is Department of State Health Services,
Okay.
DSHS. So if you Google Department of State Health Services, Stephanie Walker, that's our area nurse. She can explain more of what's going on if you have specific questions.
Thank you, Mayor, for your insightful words, and your information has been very helpful for us. So I wanted to give you the floor to give us any final thoughts or any kind of message you want to give the people of Palestine, Texas at this time.
Sure. We've got many different businesses looking to come here, both manufacturing and retail. Right now, you can see the Chick-fil-A being built.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a delay in construction, but it will be built. Then there's going to be a new Starbucks, a new car wash, and a new Panda Express being built right across the street from Walmart.
Okay.
That should be built this year. And then another restaurant across the street from Walmart in addition to that, that's more of a walk-in, sit-down type of restaurant. Mm-hmm. It's a chain. And then we've got many others looking at us right now. So we're very hopeful that we'll get some bigger things in. We have a large trade area. We're getting in things that are usually meant for cities that are larger than Palestine.
Okay.
That's why we don't get some things, but when they see how large our trade area is, as many people as drive into Palestine to shop and eat, that's what really gets us qualified. So our Economic Development Department has done a good job of working with other retailers to try to get them to locate here. We're in the process. The other thing is we're in the process of selling the mall, and that's to a developer.
Okay.
And he's the same one that bought the corner where Chick-fil-A is going in now.
Mm.
And so he intends to redevelop the whole mall area. And the advantage to us there as a city is now with JCPenney in bankruptcy, they have announced on their website that the Palestine store will not reopen.
Yeah.
They'll be closing the Palestine store. So it can be replaced, or it can be the whole thing torn down and something new built. Mm-hmm. We just don't know yet, and he doesn't know yet, but he's looking to work with other companies to see what kind of mix we can get in there to have a lot better mix of retailers in the community. So I think that's something we'll look forward to, is redevelopment of the whole mall area. It's important to me that we keep the community college there and operating, because the community college there, that's their trade school. That's where they develop, where people can have an advanced welding course there, and their nursing courses there. And they need that space, and those provide jobs, good jobs for people in the community.
Yes.
So it gives you a chance to lift yourself up at a much lower cost than if you have to go to the university to pay for the same courses. The courses are just much more reasonably priced at a community college than they are at a university, for the most part.
For the most part, okay. And also, I know that the library is located in that vicinity as well. So is there?
It is, and right now the developer said we can stay there. We've got at least 2 years to stay there if we want to, and it's reopened at 25% capacity as well. I think they'll probably reopen at 50% soon. I was just noticing that. So I think they're eligible to be 50%. So they'll soon be at 50%. I feel like, and. But you can always go out in the mall and use the high-speed internet. They have fiber that goes to there, so their speed is really high.
Yeah,
it's better than anywhere else. So they have a lot of people that use it that way. So we'll see. One of the main things for the future is continued growth there. We just opened an apartment complex on the South Loop. There's another one that we believe is going to be built. They've gone through all their financing and everything, and they're ready to start construction over on the East Loop, another one that's a little bigger than the one that just got built on the South Loop. and it'll be a market rate apartments. They'll be very nice ones.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing for us. All that adds to our tax base, adds to the number of citizens. So then not only the property tax goes up, but sales tax rises as well.
Yeah.
We've got one business in town that's looking to expand that pays very well. We've got 2 different out-of-state companies looking at moving here and moving their whole business here. And usually out of 5 or 10 that look at Palestine and say, I think I want to go there, we'll get one. You're lucky if you get one of those. Because some cities just will pay ridiculous incentives to get a company there, and we don't. We help them with infrastructure, but we don't pay big sums of money to get them here.
Yes.
So I think we've got great growth on the horizon. I think that'll help us overall. We've had a little challenge with our with the baseball, youth baseball. But we have a city council meeting tonight and be hiring an engineering firm to proceed with that, to get on with making the handicapped accessibility not the thing. That's what's keeping us closed now. It's not handicapped accessible, so we'll reopen once we get that plan developed and begin that work. So overall, things are going the way they need to go. There'll always be challenges. We'll always face issues that are complicated and that will require more study. But, I think we're all open to citizens. The entire council is open to citizens coming to us and suggesting things and asking questions and why we don't do this and how we could do this. The library, when it moves, that'll probably be a big deal within the community on trying to raise funds for that. We'll have to work at that. So there are a lot of issues going on right now, and a lot of changes are going to come.
Yes.
And for the most part, people are uncomfortable with change, but it's for the better in the long run. And I would just say that for people to accept that and accept that it's better for the future of our town and not expect us to stay just like the way we are. I've always been taught, you either grow or you die. And I want to see this community grow and prosper, not wither on the vine.
Thank you so much, Mayor Presley.
And since you've given me the opportunity to give greetings to someone, I wanted to tell my grandchildren, Ella, Olivia, James, and Luke, hello, and that I love you very much.
Thank you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated when new episodes are loaded. Thank you, and God bless.